Yo! Welcome back, 1995 the podcast, the flyest podcast on the planet. We talking music, sports, fashion, culture, dating. We got it all. I'm your creator and host, Mikey, better known as Scooter. Follow me on IG as Scooter the God. That's SCOOTERDAGOD. And follow our podcast page, 1995 Podcast. That's one word, 1995 Podcast. And today, I got another member of the 1995 team. He is our senior member. He is probably got the most drip out of all of us. I got my pops in the building. Big Gunny himself. Big Trust. Woo woo. Big Pops. The big homie in the building today. What's up, Pops? Woo, 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 woo.
All right, what's happening? What's happening, son? Everybody out there in radio land.
So, yeah, Pops, tell them about yourself. Introduce yourself to the 1995ers out there. Just give a quick little synopsis about yourself, our relationship, whatever. Introduce the world to yourself.
Well, I'm Marvin. My friends call me Gunny. I'm Mike's dad. I double retired from 2 careers. I have 3 beautiful kids, 2 daughters, a son, 2 beautiful grandkids. And Mike, Scooter, as I always call him, is my best friend, my little brother, and then he's my son.
Damn. Well, that's a good way to start it off. Hey, you're my best friend. I love you too. So we're gonna kick into a couple of topics and stuff today. The first thing we definitely want to talk about is, I'm sure everybody out there is aware of the sad news that we got earlier. The great Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, a staple to the 1995 time frame as far as being one of our GOATs of our generation. Unfortunately lost his life today. And also his eldest daughter, they both lost their lives today in a horrible helicopter accident in Calabasas right outside of L.A. Also, I believe 9 other people were confirmed to be dead, if I'm not mistaken. I may be right or wrong, but we want to give our condolences, the whole 1995 family, want to give our condolences to the Kobe Bryant family. We can't imagine what Vanessa and the rest of the girls are going through right now. And we also want to give our condolences as well to the other families of the other 9 members that unfortunately lost their lives in that helicopter accident today. So I guess our takeaways from this is, what I would like to say and put out there into the universe is, give people their flowers while you can. If you are going through something with someone that you care about, tell them you love them. Make amends with them if that's what you want to do. The people that are around you that you are already in good standing with, tell them you love them, give them a hug, have a joke with them, have a laugh with them. This life thing is short, and the only thing that's promised is death. So we just want to say, Kobe woke up this morning not knowing it was going to be his last day, and the same for the other people on that helicopter. So we want to say R.I.P. to Kobe. And give our condolences to his family and to the rest of the families that were involved as well.
My heartfelt condolences go out to the Bryant family. I know his father was a professional ball player too. Mm-hmm. Jumpin' Joe Bryant.
What, Jelly Bean?
Jelly Beans.
Is that what they called him, Pop?
Yeah, Jumpin' Joe Jelly Beans Bryant. It's pretty sad. It's horribly sad. It kind of brings back when the great Roberto Clemente died in a kind of a similar circumstance. He was still in the prime of his playing career, and another great sports hero who passed tragically. Just so sad. Yeah,
I'm glad that you brought that up, because looking back, I've seen documentaries and I've heard about Roberto Clemente and how big he was to the game at the time when he lost his life. What was it, Nicaragua, when he had that?
He was on a mercy mission, bringing supplies, I think, after a flood or an earthquake or something like that. I think it was floods. And he was on a rescue mercy mission, and the plane crash.
If I'm not mistaken, what was that, like 1970, 71, somewhere in that time frame?
It was right after he won the World Series in 1971.
So
he was fresh off a World Series win.
So how was to the general public at that time frame? Because you can give us this insight that we really don't have, being that a lot of us were born in the early 80s to early 90s. A lot of people that are listening to this podcast. So kind of give us some insight on it. Was it similar to what we're feeling right now with the loss of Kobe?
I would say very close, because that's 1971. Baseball was still king.
Yeah.
And just coming off a World Series, a 7-game World Series that the whole nation was watching.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like a shot out of nowhere, just like the tragedy with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, like a gut punch, because that's exactly what it felt like today. I know everybody out there, whether you're a Laker fan or not or whatever, it felt like a gut punch, because we already know this podcast is about the culture. It's for the culture, it's by the culture. And one thing we stress a lot is honoring the people that have made this culture better. And Kobe was definitely one of those people. So, again, we want to give our condolences to the Bryant family and everybody else that unfortunately are dealing with we don't know. I can't imagine what these families are feeling right now. And since we did that, we're going to transition right into the show, what we plan to talk about. So the first thing on our agenda, big fella, is these White Sox.
Well, I have more hope this year than I have in the last 7 or 8 years.
You haven't had a lot of hope. You have not been tuned into your boys.
I'll watch them as long as they're close to 500.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch them early in the season. When they start falling to the bottom, I just can't take the pain of watching that anymore.
Yeah.
I wish, with bringing on all this good talent we've brought in here now, that we would have changed managers. I would have liked a manager with more winning credentials, a Joe Girardi example.
Joe Girardi would have been perfect. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. I think it's time to dump Renteria.
Ron Washington, who's the manager of Texas, took him to the World Series 2 times. I thought he'd have been good. Dusty Baker.
That's another one.
I got nothing against Ricky Renteria. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I want somebody with more battle victories.
Yeah. I agree. I think the thing with Ricky Renteria is his whole entire career, in his not really stellar career, he's basically been a bridge manager. So he's been a bridge skipper where he's went. He basically bridged the Cubs to Joe Madden, and as soon as he left, they took off. I was initially thinking that was the plans that Reinsdorf had for him, was to be a bridge guy. Have him come, set him up, and then boom, here comes Girardi, or here comes Madden, or here comes somebody that's really going to take these guys over the top. Because I honestly think last year they should have finished better than what they ended up finishing.
I would think so, because they had a lot of those batting averages going up near the end of the season, but they still weren't gaining much ground.
Yeah, I agree, because that lineup, you had Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson ended up winning the batting title last year. He was... I honestly, the thing with Timmy was I wasn't sure if he was just starting the season off hot or if he was just going to just rip it up. And what ended up happening was he showed us he was for real. He ripped it up the whole entire season. He ended up being literally the best hitter in the American League.
Yeah.
And then Moncada, he had some slow starts early, and then later on Moncada ended up getting hot down the stretch.
Well, Moncada finished like 4th or 5th in the league in hitting.
Yeah, he was like 4th or 5th in the AL, yeah.
And Anderson came off of a long injury.
Yeah. Was it an oblique joint or something? What was that, Pops? I forgot what he had.
Yeah, I forgot, but he was out for a while.
Yeah.
And he came back and found a stroke pretty quick and got right back in there.
Yeah.
And he kept that average up far over 300.
And the thing about TA is, and I met TA personally, he's laid back, cool cat. He's so reserved, but his on the field toughness, like he fears no one.
Yeah, he brings a nice attitude to the game.
He's fucking ballsy, and I love that about him. I love that about his game. I love his approach. I love what he's doing to bring swag back into the game. I love the fact that he's representing the brothers as well. That's something we're going to touch on as well. We do need to see more brothers, and it's good to see the Latin brothers in the game, but we need to see more American brothers as well, and that's something we're going to touch on in the show later. Where do you predict the Sox finishing in the AL Central?
Well, it's a tough division now, and Tim Anderson's got to tighten up his defense.
Yes, TA, you heard us.
And the corner outfielders have to tighten up their defense too. Mm-hmm. But we're bringing in the kid for center field. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah. Robert, Robert Robert.
Luis Robert, yeah.
Yeah.
Luis Robert.
Yeah, the new Cuban missile.
Yeah.
He's going to have to cover a lot of ground because he got Jimenez over there and left with him.
If he's as good as the old Cuban missile, he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
But they say he's a big kid. He's got power.
Yeah.
He's young yet, but he's got power.
Yeah. I think my thing with the Sox is what is really going to come down to is how we handle the Twins and our head-to-head matchup.
Oh, you got the Twins and you got the Indians.
The Twins and the Indians.
And
yeah.
The Twins had a lot of home runs last year.
The Twins
was rough.
Yeah, and the Twins aren't going anywhere. Francona's got the Indians aren't going anywhere.
He's always going to be there because he knows what he's doing.
And honestly, I really think we should have got him years ago. I was telling you this, Pop. We had this conversation a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember the argument.
I was like, they got to get why won't we get Tito? And people forget that.
You wanted Tito? Well, Terry. Tito was a dad. Tito was my days, but
people forget that Terry was a skipper in the White Sox organization. That's when he really got to start. He was actually the manager of the Birmingham Red Barons when Mike Jordan was playing for him back in the mid '90s. So he already has ties to our organization.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
He's always going to be there.
2 rings. He almost had another one.
But who did I want? Do you remember?
You want? Oh, I knew you was gonna throw this in my. Okay.
Davey Martinez.
Go ahead, Pops. Tell them the story.
Yeah, that was fun.
I gotta give you your credit.
Yeah, you were throwing him under the bus. You said, "See, Pops, what do you think about him now?" I said, "You were ready to fire him when they went to a losing streak early in the season."
And this is because I didn't like how the Nationals did Dusty. It was more so about that. I felt Dusty should not have gotten the axe when they end up losing that first round exit again. I think it was 2017 or 2018 when they ended up canning him, and then they brought in Davey Martinez. But Davey Martinez proved me wrong.
He pulled him back. He got him back playing ball. He got him back going to work. He got him back doing what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And when it got hot in the playoffs, and he knew which buttons to push. He knew how to hold his team together.
Yeah. Quick question. Who's your favorite addition that the White Sox brought in this year?
Oh, Luis Robert, man. The Barrett Robert, baby.
Oh, so basically bringing him up.
I'm all over Robert, man.
Okay.
I'm all over that.
Okay, Luis
Been
Robert.
waiting.
I'm going to say for me, I like the signing of Dallas Keuchel. I
love the Keuchel. I wanted him last year.
Yeah, I wanted Keuchel last year when he ended up signing with the Braves with that 1-year deal. I wanted him then, but
yeah, I couldn't understand why Reinsdorf let that happen because he didn't sign for a whole lot of big money on that deal.
Yeah, I mean they literally starved them out. They starved them out until mid spring, late spring. So, where you think the Sox are going to finish? Third, second, first.
I made some notes there. I'm always happy if they're 86 and 76.
I was thinking 85 and 78.
Oh, I got to have 10 games over 500.
I hope they get to 190 wins. It's going to be difficult with the Twinkies and the Indians.
They play defense and don't give the other team 4 outs. They'll win ball games.
That's a good point.
Because they got hitters. Those averages were pretty good near the end of the season. Those guys started heating up. Even that big left fielder, what's his name? Is in his second year now.
Talk about Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez. Yeah.
He's Eloy Jimenez.
Eloy. He's clumsy. but
he was clumsy.
That average started coming up, and the power numbers were going with it, going up right with it.
And that boy can rake. He's got big power. He's got like big fella power. So
I like the way the team is constructed going into this year.
Me too. Me too. Rick Hahn is. We got to give Rick Hahn his credit. He's done a good job.
Yeah,
As far as roster, the way he's organized his new roster and how they decided to start over, and they've made some great draft picks. I think Dylan Cease is going to be a good starting pitcher. I think what's the kid's name again? That's going to be the second baseman, the shortstop that they got. Nick.
I know you're talking about. I thought he's going to be a second baseman, but he's not coming up till after the. After that rookie deadline thing.
Right, so they can have that fifth year.
Yeah, they're going to keep him for the 5th year.
Yeah.
I can't think of the kid's name, but...
I think he's going to be good. I think Abreu still has some left in the tank. He looked really good last year with him being the elder statesman.
Well, he's a good old veteran to have around to keep the clubhouse leveled.
Absolutely, yeah. He kind of reminds me of that Pop Stargell, Dave Parker type of role in the clubhouse.
You're right about that.
Yeah. So I have some high hopes for the Sox, and hopefully me, you, and Nick make some quite a few games this season.
Yeah, that one we went to last year was great out there.
Yeah, that was dope. That comeback, that was awesome. Favorite players in Major League Baseball? Give me your top 3 right now.
Well, with the White Sox not being so good the last few years, I haven't been keeping up with baseball the way I used to.
Right.
But I always liked this Mike Trout kid. He's just like tough. He's like I saw Mickey Mantle play.
Jersey in the house.
When is he from Jersey?
Yeah,
he really?
Well, he's actually from South Jersey, so he's kind of got like that Philly vibe or whatever. Because if you got that, you're from South Jersey.
But he's big and fast and 5-tool guy, and he always puts up the numbers. He reminds me of Mickey Mantle. He really does.
He does remind me of Mickey Mantle.
Then
his whole look, everything, his tool set, his even down to his look and how he runs, how he plays. Definitely, I see Mickey Mantle in him.
And then you got Aaron. I like Aaron Judge on the Yankees. That dude's a destructor.
The destructor.
That dude's big, man. What is he, like 6'6", 6'7"?
Yeah, he's like 6'7".
250?
Yeah.
And he can still fly.
Mm-hmm.
And he can throw.
Oh man, he's got a hose out there in right field.
And he can go for the balls in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
And he hits for average.
He's got damn near 6 tools. It's nothing that kid can't do.
I dig him. And even when he goes in a slump, he gets himself out of it.
Yeah.
Then you got a bunch of other guys out there. I like Mookie Betts.
Yeah, Mookie.
There's a lot of other guys I like. You know.
Yeah.
But those 2 guys I really like.
Mookie's great, man. Mookie's great, and for him to have so much pop in that little body is ridiculous. The way he hits him over the green monster is ridiculous. With him only like 5'10", 5'11", being less than 200 pounds, he has so much pop in his bat. It's ridiculous. My 3, I'm gonna go with. You already know who my favorite is, Christian Yelich. I love Yelly's game.
Yeah, I like him. I like that other kid on the Dodgers, that right fielder. Left-handed hitter.
Talking about my boy.
He can swing it.
Chase Bellinger. You talking about
Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger.
Yeah,
about Cody Bellinger.
I like him. Yeah.
Where did I get Chase from? Yeah, Cody's a dog. I was pulling for Yelly to get that MVP, and then he ended up having that injury at the end of the season. But I like Yelly. I like his game. I like how he was able to transition from a slap. He was a big ass slap hitter when he first got in, and all of a sudden now he's putting up Triple Crown numbers every year.
Now, who are you talking about here?
Christian Yelich.
Yelich with the Milwaukee.
Yeah. So
he's good. He's good.
I love Yelic's
really
game.
Good.
I love him. How he plays defense. He's aggressive. He covers a lot. He covers a lot of field with that long stride that he has. I love the way he runs the bases. He's aggressive. He's just a smart player. I love his baseball IQ. I love the way he plays the game. That's my favorite guy in the game right now. My second guy is Juan Soto. I like Juan Soto because I see.
You pointed him out to me. Yeah, he's got it.
He's a dog. He's fearless. He's only 20 years old. He plays the game aggressive. He plays it with strength, tenacity. He's fearless. He's tough.
What other player does he remind you of?
He reminds me of myself a little bit, but
I can
30
see
times.
that.
But 30 times better.
I can see that.
But 30 times better. So yeah, I call him like my little baseball son or whatever.
But what other major leaguer maybe?
He has some Griffey in him.
You think he's got that?
Yeah, he's a smaller version, but just the number of tools, the way he plays the game, him being a left-hander, hit left, throw left, him being a kid sensation. He has some Griffey in him, just not the fact that he's like 6'3" or 6'4". He's really like 5'10" or what.
Well, he does have pop.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pop early in his career as well. He's got a lot of natural pop. Who would you say? Who's your comp for him?
I haven't seen him enough to say. If I thought about it real deep, I could probably come up with somebody, but it's not here right now.
Gotcha. When it comes up, it comes up. And quick, to finish off that question, my last one, I got to go with Javi Baez. I'm a Sox fan through and through, but Javi's game is just amazing. You can't deny it, how great he is, how fun he is to watch, what he's done for the game in Chicago, what he's done for the Puerto Rican community. He's just amazing. He's a great guy to have here. Like, whether you're a Sox fan or Cubs fan or whatever, I like to see guys that just make the sports culture in this city better. I felt this way about Sammy Sosa when he had the run in '98, Andre Dawson, Ryan Sandberg, Chris Chelios, MJ, certain guys in the city, they just make the sports culture just so much better.
Yeah, Sammy Sosa's really getting treated poorly by the Cubs organization. I might want to throw that in there.
Ooh.
He kept them alive. He kept baseball alive. Him and McGuire, I know they got ostracized for the steroid involvement, but it was encouraged at the time it was happening.
It was encouraged by ownership, and they saved the game. After the strike, they saved the game.
After the strike in '94, and they brought that pop back in, hitting those home runs, and the league was all behind it.
Yeah.
But then somehow it got turned around on him. But Sammy Sosa was a big deal for the Cubs.
People forget.
And that guy played every day.
He didn't
sit. He played every day.
He played every day, and people forget what thing about Sammy. What was he? You can say what you want about the steroids. I think it's debatable about the numbers, but what he isn't he the only guy in MLB history? What, 4 60+ home run seasons?
I know he's got 3. There could be 4.
That's insane, man. That's insane. And I do think the Cubs, the Cubs try to distance themselves.
Early on, steroids weren't even outlawed. They weren't even banned.
Not in Major League Baseball. Not until 2005. They did the survey testing in 2003 with 104 players, and they had guys that ended up getting popped, but they were never supposed to have their names revealed. And then in 2004 was like the last year, and then 2005 they finally implemented steroid testing in baseball. It was kind of overdue, but it's a slippery slope with that. Is it legal? Was it not legal?
Well, I think all those guys, even Roger Clemens, and should be exonerated.
So should Barry be in the Hall?
He should be in the Hall. Over his non-steroid years, put him in the Hall. He had 3 MVPs before the steroids.
I agree.
And over 300 career batting average.
Big Roger Clemens. Should he be in the Hall?
Yeah, he should be in.
Why you say it so nonchalant? Like, yeah, he should be in.
I wasn't a big fan. He was kind of a dick, but
he was the Rocket.
He was a performer.
He could throw the baseball.
He could pop the pill.
Yeah, he could pop. Yeah, he was popping that mitt crazy. One thing we need to talk about. A lot of people know that are my friends that I've grown up with from baseball, from Little League, or people that been close to me that have not been involved with baseball. They know how important baseball is to me, and they also know how important baseball is to our relationship and our dynamic as far as us being father and son, but also being like best friends and stuff. How do you feel about the current state of young blacks in baseball? For those who know, I played baseball from the time I was 5 years old until I actually still play semi-pro baseball now. My nephew played baseball younger as well.
Great pitcher. He put in a couple of great pitcher performances near the end of his little stretch there.
Yeah, Nick was nice. And also I want to say shout out to Nick, another member of the 95 crew. We'll have him for newer school episode as well soon. So we'll be touching on a lot of things with the crew. But How do you feel about blacks in baseball right now and youth in baseball, black youth in baseball?
Well, first of all, it's an ever-changing parameter. Sometimes, some years, black youth participation is higher than others. Mm-hmm. I think it's on the rise again. I was watching that Bomani and Pablo Torre show.
Yeah, High Noon.
The stats are
one of my favorite shows right now.
Stats are that participation by black youth is rising again. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of reasons for it. A lot of it is money. A lot of it is when the 12 and 13-year-olds with these traveling teams, there's a lot of money goes into that.
I was just going to say that.
And black kids can't afford that.
I was just going to talk about that. The traveling team era coming in and becoming a big factor in how baseball players become better, that has really affected the black community as far as baseball players coming from where we come from. That made it really difficult for inner city baseball players to continue to improve their skills. And it was already difficult when you are dealing with a lot of black homes having single mother homes, not having dads. It was already difficult because baseball is an expensive sport to play. Mm-hmm. Baseball and hockey are very expensive sports. You don't see a lot of black youths in America as opposed to Canada playing hockey. But with baseball, it was a point that you did. And what ended up happening was the traveling team becoming more important than just actual little leaguing. That made it twice as hard because the fees went up. You know, you had the fact that the participation started to dwindle because to play football or to play basketball became a lot more affordable than to play baseball.
Yeah, it's a cost situation. But on the other hand, football and basketball are king right now, and all the kids are seeing it.
Yeah.
And all the kids want to play football for some reason. The ones who can't get into basketball want to play football.
Yeah.
That's why they say there's no heavyweight boxers, no great heavyweight boxers anymore, because they're all those kids who are boxing are now playing football.
That's a very good theory. I will agree with that.
So there's no great heavyweights anymore because they're all playing linebacker.
I never thought about that. That's a great point. I agree with that as well. Another thing I'm going to touch upon with the black involvement in baseball and how it has dwindled as compared to your era and even my era when I was growing up in the 90s is the lack of individuality that's allowed. And I think that comes from just a cultural thing, where that's coming from the hip-hop culture. We don't get to – baseball has these unwritten rules, and what it does is it kind of discourages people that come from our culture as far as the expression element. So you have guys right now like Tim Anderson, and even to a big degree you have the guys that come from the Latin American countries, from Puerto Rico and Venezuela. They have some of the same type of like sauce on their game that brothers have here. And they're kind of discouraged from bat flipping and just having that swag and having that ability to have fun in the game. And with that being discouraged, that does lead American black kids to want to play another sport, because individuality is important in this generation. It's a millennial thing. It's a post-millennial thing. It was honestly a Gen X thing. So individuality is becoming even more important in expression, in sports, in culture now. And as it has increased, baseball has kind of lagged behind in that department.
Yeah, baseball's kind of prehistoric in a way. They want to hold on to the old norms of how things used to be. Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to start changing.
I agree. Transitioning.
We're going to get a few more Tim Andersons and some other exciting young players that want to shake it up a little bit.
I agree. I think we need some more Tim Andersons. We need more Juan Sotos. We need more Javi Baez. We need more of these type of guys. We need more even Alex Bregmans.
I'm old school, but it's time for a change.
It is. It's time for a change.
Juice it up.
Yeah,
juice it up before it dies, because
juice up the game, but not juice up the players.
Because there's a young audience out there, and they like excitement. They like NBA. They like NFL stuff. They like They like action.
Quick thing, Pop, you got to be careful with baseball when you're talking about juice. So, yeah, just juice up the play.
Juice?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't catch that.
I thought that problem was over with already.
No, but people have a stigma about steroids in baseball, so you're going to say, juice. But I was just
juice it up.
I was fucking with you about it.
All right.
So let's transition on. One thing I like about 1995 is that we talk about culture, and that's one of the big things or whatever that we stress on this podcast. And one thing I like about you, and one reason why you are a part of the 95 crew with us, is that you have, unlike baseball, you have been someone that has been able to transition and understand culture that is different from yours. You've been able to progress with the times. You have not become a fossil. You have seen transitions in culture that have been different from the one that you grew up in, the one you were born in. And one thing I like about that is you have been able to understand and absorb my culture, and that's actually made our relationship better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name some names, and I'm going to ask you to tell me why you like these specific artists in just some short answers or whatever. Because
I think talking about painters like Marc Chagall or
no, not painters.
Edouard Manet or
no, recording artists.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm gonna name just a few names, and you tell me why you like them.
Okay.
From the 95 of culture.
All right.
I'm not gonna get too young. I'm not gonna ask you nothing about Lil Uzi Vert or nothing like that.
Hold on. Wait, what's that? Little Nas X?
Yeah.
What's all that about?
He's a young cat that came out with a song that was a crossover song and ended up reaching the country top charts and the hip hop top charts at the same time.
Is he a one-hit wonder or what?
We'll have to see. We'll need more time to see.
Okay.
Shout out to Lil Nas X, by the way. The fact that you even knew who that was.
I don't know where the hell I saw it. I saw it somewhere.
But you listen. That's important.
No, I never heard it.
Think about all the parents that are your age or a little older or whatever that don't pay attention to what's going on currently in 2020.
I don't know. Down in the hood, there might be some grandmas my age listen to it because their kids are listening to it.
Yeah, they on Old Town Road. Okay, so you ready?
Old Town Road, is that his song?
That's his song.
I heard that mentioned on the radio today.
Yeah, that's his song, Pop.
Ah.
Okay, so you ready?
Yeah,
so tell me. Okay,
right.
First person. Tell me why you like Mary J. Blige.
Oh man, she's like the second coming of Aretha Franklin. Man, she got it. She can sing it. I'll tell you a funny story.
Okay.
What was that song? Shaka Khan did it too. Mary J.
Sweet Thing.
Mary J. Me and Danielle had a ongoing. Your sister Danielle had an ongoing controversy of which version was the best. I said Shaka's was the best. She said Mary J. Blige was the best. So we lined them up and we had to do it. We had to play them like 4 or 5 times each. And I had to admit, maybe Mary's version was just a little bit better, just a little bit. She's good. She's got it. She's good songwriting, good music, good everything.
People listening out there. You see, that's what good parenting is all about. Understanding, listening, and connecting to something that may be foreign to you, and then you find out that it's not even foreign to you. Okay, that's a dope story. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
I got a good one for you, one of your favorites.
Oh.
Tell us why you like Mos Def.
Oh, man. He's like smooth. He's almost like a bebop jazz guy doing rap, kind of like a Dizzy Gillespie kind of beat.
Beatnik?
No. Beatnik's like that music, but
yeah, I don't know about the Beatnik movement, so I just kind of.
Oh, it's called the Beat Generation. It was the precursor to the love generation of the hippies.
Gotcha.
They were the hippies of the mid '50s to the early '60s, and then it kind of morphed into the hippie generation.
Your favorite Mos Def song?
Oh, I just heard the other night.
I know you
to
like
be free.
Umi Say. Umi Says.
Yeah.
Because I know you like that, but I also know you like Beef too. You love Beef.
Yeah, I love Beef. It's a great song, man. It says everything about how not to get your ass kicked somewhere.
Oh shit! You ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
I got a few more for you. Tell us why you like Jay-Z.
Well, I started liking Jay-Z when we were shopping and we were coming from on the highway.
Michigan City.
Yeah,
we went to Michigan City. That was back in the day when Michigan City used to pop.
I don't know if you were driving back home or me, but
I was like 15. I might have been driving. Who knows?
Might have been. If I had too many beers at that restaurant, I don't know. But you kept playing it over and over. You kind of force fed me, and I said, "Damn, Scooter, that shit got a beat to it. It's pretty decent."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can you say that on here?
You can say whatever the fuck you want. This is our shit.
Oh, it's like cable.
No.
Oh, okay.
Pop, you don't have to worry about the FCC. Say whatever the fuck you want.
I'm not worried about FCC. The FBI worries me, but not the FCC.
Hey, do me a favor. Go to the mic.
Yeah.
I want you to say one word.
Go ahead.
Say fuck.
No.
Okay, but go ahead, finish up, Jay. We were leaving Michigan City.
Yeah, man, it just kept coming, and the beat just kept coming, and the lyrics were good. And I said, "Who is that? Is that Jay-Z guy again?" He said, "Yeah," and that's when I started liking him. Yeah. I mean, he just brings good shit. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
It's good shit.
It's steady. It comes at you, and I liked it.
Yep. I got two more for you.
Uh-oh.
Tell us why you like my personal GOAT. Tell us why you like Nas.
Well, again, like Jay-Z, smooth, more emotional.
Yeah.
Little bit of singing there. Well, I like all of those early hip hop. You had horns in their music, and I loved it when they would cover older songs or use them. Sampling.
That's one thing.
Man,
I will say
that
this.
made the music good. It was music.
For everybody out there, my dad does love sampling, and that actually is what drawn him to a lot of the hip hop that we hear. Like my dad loves Jay Dilla, Kanye, Q-Tip. He likes guys that were really good at sampling.
But it revived the careers of the older artists. It brought them back to the attention of the music listening public.
Yeah, and it brought them some bread and stuff too. It put some money in their pocket.
But it was music. It wasn't just rap. It was rapping and music.
I agree.
Man, you hear the horns, man, the saxes and trumpets and
awesome.
blending and making real music.
I got one more for you before we do our next transition.
All right.
So, last guy on the list. Tell us why you like Common.
Oh, I heard him last night when I was listening to some stuff. Man, he's just steady. He just brings a beat. And once again, good music in the background. Good lyrics, positive. Even when he's talking about negative stuff, he's positive.
Yeah.
Man, just good hip-hop music. Kanye West, too. I don't know, he got a little goofy here lately, but I hope he doesn't sue me for saying that, but he would never hear this, I hope. And I mean, he's a great artist too. I mean, him and Common, like right there on the same level to me. And no, Common's just bringing it, man. Just bringing nice, good sound, good background music, good harmony voices in the background,
longevity too,
and a great message.
Yeah, great message, and longevity too.
Just good hip ass music to listen to. Shit.
One thing I want to ask you too, 1995 was named after a year, 1995, for a reason. So one thing about 1995 is, in the intro of the first episode, when me and D kicked it off, we kicked the whole thing off. We talked about how certain years on the rotation of the globe are more nominal than others, right? So you have years that just matter more. 1945, 1914.
Bad year.
Bad year, but just in general, certain years ring bells that other years don't, And one of the most important years that you lived through that we talked about in our history books, growing up in the 90s and going to grammar school in the 90s, was 1968. And you were a teenager during that time frame. So I want to ask you, with all the turmoil, all the transition, all the things that were going on, I want you to tell us what 1968 was like, just from your lenses and stuff, from you being in the thick of it.
Wow.
Because people from my generation want to know what that shit is like,
Really?
Yeah.
1968 was a very transformational year in this country. American politics involved with the Vietnam War, and But it was all just bad. But there was good. It was a fun year. I was 15 years old. Mm-hmm. Music was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Rock music was fantastic. Soul music was fantastic. Motown was at its height. Mm-hmm. Chicago local music, fantastic. Shy Lights, Five Stair Steps, just music, man. Music was fantastic.
And the Five Stair Steps went to Harlan with you, right?
They did.
My dad did go to Harlan, so he with the shits, guys.
I was a Harlan Falcon.
What were those transitions
like? Dr. Martin Luther King was killed in '68.
What was that like? In the city, because didn't the city riot?
It was absolute. Yeah, they did. Oh, all over the place. Yes, they did. They had National Guard had to be called.
Is it true that Jeff Fort came in and told them not to tear up like Woodlawn or something like that? I heard like that.
I don't remember that directly, but it could be quite possible.
Okay.
I know Jeff Fort. I met Jeff Fort.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, whoa. So you fucking know Jeff Fort personally?
What? I met him.
Oh, you met him.
We didn't go out for beers.
But I didn't even know that you met Jeff Fort.
And we didn't go out and collect no street taxes together. But I met him and I know him.
Because, thank goodness. But, so I didn't even know you met Jeff Fort.
Yeah, it's a long story. I don't want to... If I go too far with this, I might incriminate somebody. I guess the statute of limitations has long been expired. But.
You can always save it for episode 2 because everybody's going to be crazy. They want to see you again. You're like a star to my friends and to my generation.
I don't know about all that.
Everybody loves Big Gunny, Big Trust Gunny. Everybody loves.
Oh, I have fun with all your friends and their girlfriends and all the girls that you went to school with. I love all you kids, beautiful kids. His friends too.
Man, they love you too. But we will save the Jeff Fort story though. That's interesting as hell.
I saw him down in Stateville when I was visiting somebody, and we didn't shake hands or nothing, but we nodded, you know, in the visiting room. That was back in like '72 or '73. Yeah, I don't know. I think he should be out by now. I think he got a raw beef.
Yeah.
I don't know about Larry Hoover. I don't know, man. Don't let me say too much about these guys.
Understandable. I will say
I don't
this.
know, man. I don't know who's listening, man. I don't know, shit.
That's the thing.
Don't be squealing, man.
You gotta act. You never know who's listening or whatever. But when you move around, whatever, you gotta act like everybody's listening. So I get where you're coming from. Yeah. But 1968 was definitely a transformative year. We talk about it from history's perspective.
Oh, the clothes were fantastic, which is you had. Like one day I could be an Ivy Leaguer and wear a Brooks Brothers shirt and some slacks to school, and the next day I'd be a hippie like Sly and the Family Stone or something. Man, it was a great time of transition. Mm-hmm. That's when James Brown came out with "I'm Black and I'm Proud." You know, he got rid of his process and had the afro and shit.
His process. Whoa! Tell him what a process is.
Well, it's like a perm, I guess.
Like Activator or some shit.
Kind of a perm.
It's like Soul Glow of coming to America. Like let your soul glow.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh shit. So okay. So it's kind of.
What else? The girls were beautiful. The black women were beautiful.
In 1968?
Yeah, we had a few white girls in Harlan. They were pretty too. But,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. When I was a freshman in Harlan in 1966, it was like 65% black kids, 35% white kids.
I would have never known that about
4 years
Harlan.
later, when I graduated, it was like only a few white kids left.
I didn't even know it. I would never have known that Harlan had like that mixed group there. I would never have known that. That's interesting as fuck.
Yeah, but they were all cool, man. Didn't anybody fuck with them or nothing? Everything was cool. Yeah. Everybody was cool with each other.
If you're cool, you're cool. It
was a cool school. Everybody was cool.
Cool. That I never would have known that. Every time I talk to you, one thing about our relationship that I love is that every time I talk to you, I learn something new, and I think that is what a good teacher does, and you've always been a good teacher to me, to the girls, to Nico, to Ashley, and we appreciate you for that, and we just want to say we love you. We love you as a father figure, but we also love you as a friend, as a teacher, instructor, and you find ways to help us learn about things that we really need to know, and you find the coolest ways for us to do it, and we always appreciate that about you, big dog. Real shit.
Thank you, son.
You're welcome, Dad.
Well, I always said, like, you all want to listen to this hip-hop, crazy rap stuff before I started liking it, I said, you got to listen to some Miles Davis and John Coltrane. You got to listen to some Motown. You got to listen to Jackie Wilson. You got to listen to other stuff that's outside your box. Mm-hmm. and then I won't protest your hip hopping.
I totally agree.
Then I end up liking it.
I totally agree. One thing I will say about growing up in your household with you, and I also want to give Mom some credit too, is you guys were culturally accepting of so many things individually, but also culturally accepting about what we brought home. So one thing I like about that is this podcast wouldn't even exist without that type of upbringing that you guys had. So you guys taught me so much about different movies, different different types of things in cinema, different types of music, different types of taste in fashion. You guys showed me that the cool exists outside of what you just think is cool, whether it was just hip hop or R&B. Like you told me to look past that or whatever. So I was able to understand it. Like swag doesn't really have a particular
Box.
It's not a box, yeah. It's not a box. Like, if you just got that wave, you have that wave. Like, James Dean is a wave. Pac is a wave. My boy who we lost today, Kobe, is a wave. Marlon Brando is a wave. Dorothy Dandridge is a wave. Billie Holiday is a wave. Frank Sinatra is a wave. Harry Belafonte is a wave. You either got it or you don't. And you can feel that energy by looking at something that's totally unrelated to you or whatever. Johnny Cash, a wave.
Hey, that's a cool motherfucker, man.
And
Cool.
You allow me to open my mind.
I don't even think his music was country music. I think it was roots music, really. It was almost folk music.
But country music is technically folk music, right?
Well, all music is part folk music.
Yeah. But
even hip hop.
But the bottom line is that you guys were able to teach me that.
Ain't no more Heine dogs up in this motherfucker?
Yes. It's more Heine dogs.
One more Heine?
Yes. But long story short, you were able to teach me that wave, that drip, it exists outside of the box.
I didn't just invent this shit. I learned it from my parents. I grew up listening to Frank Sinatra all day long.
Yeah, I learned a lot. That's why I love Frank Sinatra.
I grew up listening to
because of your mom, because of grandma.
My mother played Carmen, Bizet's Carmen, every day.
You used to make us go to sleep to opera. Like we used to listen to Tchaikovsky. We used to listen to Beethoven, Mozart. We will Von Bach. We would listen to that stuff going to sleep, and we would wake up with good vibes in the morning before we went to school because of that.
It's relaxing.
Like I mean, that's like 300 years back of wave. Like that's crazy. And we appreciate, me and the girls. We really appreciate you, and Nico as well.
There's many
specters
and spectrums.
Yeah.
Of art and music in the world and just how you deal with people. There's many spectrums, man.
Yeah, waves, cool, drip, swag, whatever you want to call it, vibe, substance, like whatever you want to call it, it just exists and it's a feel. Like Fabulous say, it's like a vibe, and it extends outside that box. And I just want to thank you personally for not allowing us to be in that box.
Yeah.
And
I want you to teach your kids the same.
I will. I promise I will. I promise you that.
There's good everywhere. Try and feel a little bit of it.
Absolutely. Before we wrap it up, we're definitely going to do a part 2 with you, and then we're also going to have you with the boys as well.
I got to come back again?
You part of the crew.
That's instructions. I guess that's orders.
Hey, look at me. I'm the captain now. Just on this.
When we get back at the ranch, I'm back in charge again.
Yeah, you still in charge, man. You the patriarch.
Let me get a shout out from my favorite grandson over here. He's my only one, but I love him anyway.
Oh, Nico.
Yeah, say something to Nick. What do you got to say, Nick?
Nick, what's up? Nick, come say what's up, man. Just let him know. Nico will be on the show soon. Today's episode is actually old school, new school.
Well, give him a preview shout out.
I am, Pop. I am.
So people can hear his voice.
This is actually...
he's got a lot to say. He's a smart kid.
They'll know, Pop. So this episode is old school, new school, and Nico will be a part of the extension of that, which is called New School, Newer School. So just say what's up, Nico. They've heard you before, but tell them what's up again.
What's up, y'all? I'll be tuning in real soon.
Yeah, we'll be talking about a lot of stuff or whatever. Quick thing before we get out of here, Pop. Story time. Are you ready for story time?
Yeah, I'm writing it. That's what I'm at right now because we're running out of time here. I'm looking at my watch.
So, my pops tells some of the best stories on the planet. I'm going to tell a quick story about him, and then
I got two for you.
And then he's going to tell a story about me. So, one thing about my father is he is uniform. He is about organization. He is about being timely and being on time, doing shit the right way, and doing shit in a uniformity. So I remember my freshman year in high school, baseball season. So I was a freshman, but I was on varsity. I was a good ball player, as you guys know. So we had a baseball game that afternoon, and what would usually happen was in CPS, if you play in a public league, whatever, if you got a baseball game, what ended up happening was you'll leave like early, you'll hop on a bus, whatever, like 6-7 period or whatever. You'll go to your baseball game, and then you get back to the school a certain time, whatever, and then you go home, whatever. So I don't even really remember how we got to this, but my pops was under the assumption that on game days for the baseball, this was cool with football. Like we did this with our football team, whatever, at Brooks as well. Like you wore your jersey during like on game day, whatever.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Long story short, Pops thought that I was supposed to wear my baseball jersey to school. And so I was like, Pop, like I'm not supposed to wear my jersey. Like we not wearing our jersey. He's like, get your jersey ready. You gotta iron your jersey.
I think you had your whole uniform.
You gotta. I didn't have a whole uniform when I had my jersey on. I'm like, Pop, they gonna send me to the office and they gonna be bugging the fuck out about me having my jersey on. So I don't want to like. Don't make me pull up to school, whatever, and be on a fucking bus with my jersey looking all stupid and shit.
I remember that.
Listen to me, Scooter. Like, what the fuck? I never told you wrong before then.
Is that how I talk? I guess so.
No, at that time, you was like, I never told you wrong before then. I was like, technically, you haven't. Okay, you're right.
Well, I did that time.
And I was like, Pops, I just know I'm not supposed to wear my... Scooter, wear your fucking jersey. Listen, you gotta listen to Coach Cafford. Listen to people. I'm like, Pop, he never even wear your jersey. I was like, okay, I wore my jersey. Now, mind you, I didn't have no first period freshman year. I started like second period. I get to school second period. Everybody looking at me like a fucking bozo with my jersey on. I'm in division class with my jersey on.
I felt so bad.
Everybody's like,
I felt so bad about that.
I'm like, yeah, we got a game today. It's like, we know you got a game. We said we're gonna pull up and watch the game, bro. But why you got your jersey on? I was like, Gunny told me to wear the jersey. It was like, Pop told you to wear. He thought I was supposed to wear the jersey. It was like, bruh.
I'm gonna give a shout out to your awesome baseball coach.
Shout out to Coach Caffer.
Jack the Caffer, Jack.
Shout out Coach Caffer. He's a fan. He's literally like a family member. That's
cool,
like
brother.
a big brother to me. We love him. He's been instrumental to my whole development.
He's invited to the cookout anytime he wants.
He's invited to the cookout. I would have never played college baseball without him. So shout out Coach Caffer, my homie Jack Caffer. Love you, bro. But
that was at the at
but
that point.
Let me finish. So I'm going through. So mind you, Coach Caffer was a history teacher at my school as well. So he sees me like fourth period or whatever. I go to lunch, whatever. He sees me in the hallway. He was like, some school spirits you got there, Scooter.
That sounds like him.
What the
that sounds like him.
I'm like, man, your homie made me wear this shit, man. He was like, you don't have to wear your jersey. I was like, I know. So then what ended up happening, this is the funny part. The game got rained out. You know, Chicago weather so fucked up, the game got rained out. So the game got rained out. And when the game got rained out, I came home. I hopped on the 353 bus. I came home. I was like, Dad, I didn't have to wear my jersey. And he was like, Scooter, I'm sorry. Okay. I never told you wrong, but today I did. I'm sorry.
All right, you're running along on this story here now.
Okay, I'm done. What the fuck?
That was the point in time where I decided I got to listen to my son better. And I'm not always right. And that's what I learned from that. Now.
Story time for you, Pop. Go ahead before we get out of here.
It's hard to come up with something because we've had so many damn memories together. I mean, we've lived our lives together. But your last high school football game comes to mind. You clowned that day.
Oh,
I don't know if you threw for 300 yards or you ran for a couple, but you threw a touchdown to D-Money, who was one of your guests on this podcast.
He's
before.
part of the family. He's
Will,
part of
you
95
threw
family.
2 touchdowns to Will.
Yeah.
You threw 2 touchdowns. You just went off that day. What was that school you beat the shit out of?
It was some.
Foreman or something like that?
I think it was Foreman.
You blew their ass.
Or like Wells or Walter Payton or something.
But then
like
when
that.
you came off the field, you still had your helmet on, and you were crying, and we just hugged. And I says, you did the best you could do, kid, and you did damn fucking good.
Yeah, I knew that was my.
Oh, your word came out.
There we go.
Your word came out.
There we go. Yeah, that was I knew that was my last like organized football game with like pads on and stuff. So it meant a lot to me, and I had to hug my.
Oh shit, we're 1 minute over here.
I know. So I had to hug my favorite coach and teacher or whatever. So that was a great story, and I appreciate you. I want to say.
I got another one. It involves you and Nick. It goes back, I don't know, 10 years. You were still in college. How long have you been out of college?
I don't know, a long time.
You came out in what?
We
08?
yeah.
So you were home from college for Christmas, and the star on the Christmas tree, and me and Nick was hanging tough back then, because you were gone to college, so Nick was my new son, and Nick put the star on that tree. Man, your ass was pissed off. You were like 18 or 19 years old. You were pissed off because Nick put the star on the tree. So from now on, we know you got to put the star on the tree.
Oh, man, that's funny.
Oh, my God. And then the last one, I know you want me to talk about when you were little and you came backing into the kitchen when I was mopping the floor like Sweepy, trying to sneak in there. But
we could save it for next time because it's going to be a part 2 with old school, new school.
no, I want to tell a little story about football and black kids and baseball. You were pitching one day in the spring, and all your big linemen and football buddies were hanging around watching the baseball game. You and Rico were both football players and baseball players at the same time.
Yeah.
But Big Brian, a middle linebacker, where did he end up going? Illinois?
Shout out to Brian, too, my boy B. Jones.
Yeah, Big Jones.
He ended up playing at West Virginia.
West Virginia? Get the fuck out of here.
West Virginia State. He played football there.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I said, man, how come y'all,
Who's your
other homie who was a center on the basketball team?
Kenny.
No, Kenny was playing baseball.
Oh, yeah.
For a minute. No, the other, Jason
Draper.
Jason Draper.
Shout out, Jay.
I
What's
said,
up,
hey,
Jay?
man, how come y'all dudes want to come play baseball with Mike? He said, Mr. Bonds, we scared of that damn ball.
And Jason was one of the toughest guys I know from high school. He was fearless on the basketball court. He was fearless on the bus stop. Jason was scared of nobody, but he was like, I'm not playing no fucking baseball, bro. I come watch you. I'm not playing any fucking baseball.
Well, let me end this by saying,
Yeah,
I know you're the moderator.
We gotta wrap it up. But go ahead.
What's the hardest sport to play? I'm gonna ask Nick.
I can only speak on the hardest sport that I've played, and I say baseball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the hardest sport to play.
Baseball is the hardest sport to play.
If you don't start when you're 7 years old, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Parting shots. Anything you want to say to the 1995ers? You will be back soon or whatever. Anything you want to say to generation about the culture? Anything real quick or short?
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to the a great band that a lot of people don't know about, but they better be checking them out. The Chambers Brothers, back in the late '60s, they were a soul and rock band. Love, peace, and happiness. Bing.
Love, peace, and happiness. I could definitely give that message. So we want to say R.I.P. to Kobe Bryant again and his daughter and the people that we lost or whatever. Episode 5 will be back. Got the 95 crew, the whole crew there. And then episode 6 will be coming with newer school, me, Nico, cooking up, talking about newer stuff. So tune in. We got a lot going on. And the influencer series will be beginning soon. So as you guys already know, it's 95 to infinity. We'll talk to y'all soon. We out, baby.
Peace out.